These are going to be the exact problems from the mastery. So, for my friends playing along at home, at least I hope you're playing along at home. Do we want a new code word for today?
Orange cider.
Orange cider? Okay. Come back to school. Now, I won't be here Thursday, but come back to school and come tell me orange cider, and you will get a little treat. So, my people playing along at home. We, today so far, have just chatted about how we need to catch up on work. So today is going to be a work day. Majority of us are missing a lot of things, but we're about to look at like the legit exact mastery you will take on Thursday. The only thing that might change is like a tiny bit of spacing, like how I spread things out. So legit. I already have Thursday's date on this too, right? I realize like you guys putting dates on papers is not that important if we're all doing it on the same day. So for tests, I just decided I'm going to go ahead and put dates on them. In one, guys, I should have every single set of eyes pointed this way right now. In one, you're going to be asked to write expressions, not equations. There's no equal sign involved here. Expressions for an A, after you wipe out the zeros, right, when you compare things up and make zeros, what are you left with? In B, like separately, make zeros, what are you left with? In C, make zeros, what are you left with? And then, which of these mats has the biggest value? Which of these mats has the smallest value? And record, like, circle things, slash things out, like, show me what you did. In 2, what's a boundary point? And why do we need to know about it? Somebody pull out your chapter 6 notes. I'm curious to see who's fastest. They're yellow. Okay, yellow. Oh, I think I saw Mason's first. Can I borrow those? Nice work, Mason. In your chapter 6 notes, flip to what I guess we could call page 2. It says, graphing inequalities. What word do we see bolded?
Boundary point.
Boundary point. So if you need to review what a boundary point is, or honestly, guys, it might be a good idea to just review all of these notes. Like, just look back through all of these notes, because you will not be allowed to use them on Thursday. You will not. Guys, if you've done your practice legitimately, you know this stuff. And if you haven't done your practice legitimately, I need to know about that. Excuse me. All right, number 3. 2 less than, not like is less than, but 2 less than 3 times a number. Now, I'm pretty sure there were homework problems very similar to this.
Will you choose our homework?
Nope.
Oh,
Nope. Nothing. Like, legit mastery. Have you done your homework legitimately that you know what you're doing? I think there was a homework problem like something less. Aha! 105 from 625.
Can I please have Kylie Vandaway to the office? Kylie? Thank you.
So in 105, how do I write 3 less than a number? Well, there I made my a number A. Right there I made my a number A, just I don't like using X for everything. I'm in B. How do I do 9 more than 3 times a number? Well, I need 3 times a number first, and then I need 9 more than. C is probably most similar to the test question. Right? C is probably most similar to that test question. But then it says greater than or equal to. If your math notes are still out, you have a reminder of all those different symbols. Whatever, like the greater than equal. So 43. If we don't remember these sort of situations, skip it, move on to 4. Hopefully this helps you remember those situations. Oh yeah, what do I do to get A by itself? What do I do to get M by itself? What do I do to get X by itself? Then, in 5, equations. If you want a reminder how we solve equations, I'll steal yours because you're closer. Ooh, you should use the tags. You want a reminder of how to solve equations? Back of your math notes. There's a bunch of examples. Just like done examples. But that's what this problem is solve the equations. One strategy a lot of us were using was draw that line down through the equals and do the same thing on both sides. Right? That OBS stuff that we've been practicing. In 6, solve for x. But honestly, this one's probably the easiest problem on the test because I gave you a diagram. There's nothing stopping you from drawing pictures for any other problem. I just gave you a picture here. So if I'm in the shop and I know 2 of my boards plus 6 equals 40, well, what is each of those boards? So no, that's not the right answer. And please don't shout out answers because we're talking about a test we're all going to take. Come on, Liam. You know that's not appropriate. But no, that's not the answer. In 7, please don't announce it to the class. What did Michaela do wrong? And then go back and do it correctly. Write out the equation and show how to solve. X does not equal 1/5. That's not the answer because she done goofed. Nope, we're not asking questions about the test. Yes, Chelsea's my wife. Dave is my best friend. I use people I know when I write my tests. Chelsea found x equals 8. Dave is not so sure. So figure out who's right. Maybe solve it on your own. Plug it in and check it. Like, you do what you want. I'm moving on. In 9, Mike and Kyle, fraternity brothers of mine. Kyle started by distributing not 3. Hey, typo. We'll fix that right now because I haven't sent these to the copy center. Distributing the 4, right? The 4 is what would distribute. While Mike started by dividing both sides by 4. Wow. I wonder if we caught that last year because I don't remember that being a typo last year. So justify your answer. Like, explain who's right, or could they both be right? Sometimes you're arguing with a friend and you realize, like, oh, crap, we're both right. Like, we're not even arguing. We're both right. In 10, again, equations. Solve them. But these are a bit trickier because, like, in 2, you've got that 2 in front of the parentheses. And in B. And in C, what number is this in front of the parentheses? -4. That's a -4. Watch out for that. A room reaches 88 degrees. Must be doing hot yoga. Before someone turns on the air conditioner. The air conditioner lowers the room temperature by 0.3 degrees each minute. How long will it take the room before it's 76 degrees? You could do algebra. There's a few different ways to do this. I think algebra would be the right way, but that's just my suggestion. And the final page, for those of you that are only half paying attention anymore. The final page, either use 5D process or algebra, whatever you want to do. Severus and Lily comparing their test scores. George and Mary Lou comparing their ages. 14, very similar to a homework problem that we had, where the area of the triangle is something and the base compared to the height. I wonder if we could find that. That's the whole test. What if we could find that test or that? Oh, hey, look at that. It's like problem 106. So guys, look up here real quick. Well, hopefully you've been looking for longer than real quick. Guys, I do all of this work in blue, and then I realize I don't know how to solve this. This will end up getting like h squared. Like, I don't know what to do with h squared. We haven't done anything with variables squared. So instead, 5D process we know will always work. So if the base is triple the height, okay, if the height's 15, the base is 45. The height's 18, the base is, like, I can set up 5D process and then check, well, if I multiply this times this, and then divide by 2, oh, here's my concern. Here's my, my actual concern. Guys, look up here. How do I got too many buttons. Guys, the test says if you need help, come see me. And I won't be here. So let's remind ourselves what the area formula is for a triangle. Who can remind us what the area formula is for a triangle? Max?
Base times height divided by 2.
Yeah. It is base times height divided by 2. Now you could, where I got this 972, I doubled the 486 and I said, oh, base times height should equal that. So when we divide by 2, we get this, right? Base times height should be 972 because 972 divided by 2 equals the area they told me I want. But for a triangle, base times height, divide by 2. Okay. Question. For this test, that's it. Like, we just looked at the entire test. Were there any other shapes or area used? Nope. This problem's on the test because it was essentially, like, it was on your homework. Not the exact same problem because I made the math a little bit easier here. Smaller number to work with. But yeah, that's it. I'm missing a close parentheses. See, those are the only edits I might be making, right? Like fixing my typos or closing parentheses or things. But that's it. That's the whole test. I'm going to run back up the problems just in case you're still watching the video and you want to pause it. Now, guys, some teachers might be like, why are you showing your kids your actual test? What if they like go watch the video and solve the problems ahead of time? I don't care. Like, you just got to be able to do it when you come to class. I don't care if you go put work in ahead of time, but if you've done your practice, you probably don't need to do that much work to prep for the test. All right, keep working on your homework, getting caught up. Let's try to get as caught up today as we can. I want to see my bin full of missing papers. Give me just a second, so I'm going to stop the video, at least for the moment. All right, 713. 713 for anyone who wants to play along for 713. Problem 36. Table at the right shows speed limits in some foreign countries in kilometers per hour. Now, a kilometer is 0.6 miles. So what are these speed limits in miles per hour? Well, guys, if we think about like what speed limits are normally in miles per hour, are they normally under 100 or over 100? Under, right? Because we use miles per hour here in America. So the question to ask yourself is, with that 0.6, like what should we be doing with that? Well, if every 1 kilometer is equal to how many miles? How many miles? 0.6. Then how many miles will 100 kilometers be? Yeah, how do I go from 1 to 100 times 100? I do the same thing down here. So I think this is going to be 60 miles per hour. I think this will also be 60. I think this will be just above 60. Because it looks like what we can do is multiply this by 0.6. Right? I think what we can do with this whole thing is multiply by 0.6. Let's check it with like 96. So if I do 96... yeah, would it make sense for 96 to be just under what we found for 100? Yeah, 96 is just under 100. For this to be 57.6, that makes sense. So really what we're doing is we're using this 0.6 as our scale factor. We're scaling everything by 0.6 to get it converted to miles. Other homework questions. I'd prefer Chapter 6 homework questions since those are missing for us. I'd prefer to do Chapter 6, but up to you guys.
Simplify this.
What do we do instead of dividing fractions?
Add.
No. When you're mad at me, it's actually Lucy's fault, not mine.
What?
Give me a second. Were you here yesterday? Yeah. Why don't you have that right now? I don't know why we all skip work. I don't understand it. Is that what you're asking about or what? What are you actually asking about? Maybe I'm just confused. Which problem are you asking about?